Boo. Alright, everybody. So, as you saw in the Discord, we were supposed to stream on Twitch. That didn't happen. And I was trying to. Yeah, I wasn't successful at that at all. Yeah. So we'll get that worked out in the upcoming days. Otherwise, hey, hello everybody. Hello, how art thou? And how are you? How are you? I'm doing great. Ha ha ha. Dang. So, I've been trying to do stuff in the background. We finally added Twitch chat. The thing is that I've added Twitch chat. Twitch chat's right here. It's right here. And it's not working. Because I don't know how to reconnect to Twitch like I promised. So, I don't know what you guys want to talk about today. Let's talk about what controversy happened today. Biggie's fat. I don't know. I don't know. Want to kill Opera again? Let's kill Opera. You know what? Let's head over to the desktop room and let's kill Opera again. If only we can make this screen a lot bigger. Well, actually, hold on. Kill Opera again? I don't know. Well, according to me, at least. Not. Okay, there we go. Finally we're getting somewhere with it. Yes, I have been getting obsessed with Opera's birthday gift. Dun 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 dun. We can kill Opera. So while we're talking, let's let Opera die. So one of the reasons why I hadn't streamed on a specific day. New background? Yes! New background? This is the desktop. This is Opera's birthday stuff. So yeah. Yeah, we're gonna let Opera die for a little bit and we'll probably stream that. Man. I don't know. How is everybody doing today? Hello, music boy. I didn't say hi. How art thou? How is thou day? You use Opera? Yes, I switched to Opera. Hello. I switched to Opera once I built the PC. I might do a stream where I show off the PC, but I'd have to do specific precautions because... I was breathing it and then it came out as the yawn. I have to take precautions because the type of PC I have is reflective. I have a Y60. Yeah, a Y60 PC case. A height Y60. That's what the box says across the room. I still have not. Be careful then. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. What is it? I actually really like Opera, not gonna lie. It's easy going on the PC. Only thing I guess I wouldn't say I like only sometimes is it kinda who is Puck? Who is Puck, not gonna lie. I saw this message last time and I don't remember when. Who? The only thing I would say I don't like about Opera is the fact that it opens up on its own, but I'm pretty sure that's the thing I can opt out of that I just haven't yet. But otherwise I actually pretty much like it. I do like my new setup. It's smooth, it's nice, it's great, it's fantastic. So yeah. That's a setting on a computer. Yeah, okay, so that's not an Opera setting, it's just a computer setting. So I hope you also like chat. I finally was able to get chat onto all the computer rooms. Let's just hop all the way back down to desktop because I don't know why I thought desktop was next. It's yeah. Ah yes, white text on white background. I tried to fix it. I turned all of them to black and it still didn't work, so I'm gonna like fix that. I am going to fix that. I am absolutely gonna fix that. but yeah, it's without me looking close, I thought my teeth was like on the bottom like row. It kind of looks like that a little bit. I'm not even tired and the yawns are already starting to attack me. Opera. I'm sorry, Opera. It's time to die. I know I got it all the way up to level 4. But we're gonna get you up to level 4 again one day. Oh man. But nah, I really do like everything about this. Like I said, what is it? I didn't get the well, that'll be a thing later. I mean, it's not a surprise. I just I got Wiimotes. Wiimotes are starting to come in. I know I have to get like for anybody who doesn't know, turns out when you use Dolphin Emulator, you have to use a Wiimote because unfortunately a Pro Controller, while you can use a Pro Controller, do you use both Opera and Chrome or just Opera? Just Opera. Mostly because Chrome was like literally the death of me in the last one. Quite literally, because that was what was siphoning up. That would always pull out so much data. That pulled out so much data. It's what caused most of my crashes. Oh, looks like Opera's at its end. Opera Yetchan. Dang. Yep. And you know how I found that out? Merryweathery. That's how I found out. Merryweathery. That Chrome was a hog. Lol, he is cool. Definitely. I want to draw a goth girl. I want to draw a goth girl in the future. Surprised that was how you found out. Well, I mean, what's the best way to find out? Google? Nah. Comic about girls? Yes. Girl browsers? Yes. That's how I found out about Edge. And that Bing was still relevant. And Opera. That's actually how I found out about Opera. That's how I found out about Opera, and then from there, down the line, I found out about Opera GX. And then later, what? Yeah. I wonder why she's not dying. Maybe all three of them have to go out. I have both Opera and Opera GX. I'm not... Oh, this is the first time I'm seeing this. Every time the screen came on, I would always end up leaving because I had to do something or I fell asleep before I saw it. Not gonna lie, I'm curious to see what happens. She's seeing the light. Not gonna lie, what's gonna happen? I saw the game over screens, but I've never seen, like, this whole thing play out. Should I? Was literally the death of her going to literally be because of board games? I'm not feeding you. Sorry. I'm still not feeding you, unfortunately, Opera. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still not feeding her. So yeah, no, but like that's how I found out about I've always followed like Mary Weathery even before he like got big with other comics like Browser Girls and stuff like that. Who remembers Winter Moon? For anybody who remembers Winter Moon. Winter Moon was actually a fun blast. I ended up kind of like falling off of it, and then like when I came back it was kind of the problem with Winter Moon is that each chapter is like too short to be like you want to stay. It's too short. Well, she's demanding an egg. You will give me an egg. You will give me an egg. Who remembers that reference? What is it? I remember some of his like other comics. Like obviously we have his newer comics like Everywhere and Nowhere and like the Steam Express. What are some of the comics that he had on there? Obviously like classics like Stalker x Stalker. What are other series on there? Because I have so many of his series in my recommendeds. I think what was shocking was that I think the most shocking thing about Mary Weathery is how many people who keep finding out that you're not a girl? Because Mary Weathery, I don't know why, Mary Weathery sounds male. Mary Weathery is like a male name. It does not sound female to me. It sounds like somebody trying to hide behind a female mask, or at least somebody who adopted something akin to it. It does not sound female to me whatsoever. Yes, maybe we remember. Fox Girls Are Better. Will we ever get another chapter of that? Who knows? It's been literally years. How long has it been since a chapter updated? Oh yeah, 2020. May we ever get another chapter of Fox Girls Are Better. What are other comics? Because back then, Mary would like start comics and just not finish them. This isn't a bad thing. I'm just saying. He would start them and then not finish. Hopefully, Stalker x Stalker is like creeping into that territory. Ah, yes. My Succubus Girlfriend. And My Succubus Girlfriend, the reboot. What is it? London Vampire. This was one of his like contest comics before it got like beat out by Winter Moon because he submitted them twice. I think if I remember correctly, back then Webtoons used to kind of be like friendly with its like content creators. Kind of like, oh, here we go. We dying? We dying? Alright, we almost dying. What is it? Back then, Magnolia Online, but like Magnolia Online was like so old, it never like, it like took off briefly. Back then, Webtoons used to be a lot more like user-friendly and stuff like that. Ads wouldn't bombard you like crazy. It felt like everybody could get a shot. And obviously, at the beginning, obviously, since it was like, okay, so like Webtoons, everybody knows about Webtoons and stuff, right? I'm experiencing an intense desire for a delectable baked confections at this very moment. I could. You know what, Opera? Because I love you a lot. Because I actually like you, Opera. Because I actually like you. You know, we're gonna feed you, and we're gonna show off your 4-story pad before we kill you. We'll give you your 4-story pad before we kill you. So this is Opera's room where I've killed her multiple times. I mean it when I say that though. I have killed her absolutely multiple times. And it took me way too many times to get the gold trophy, because I would always kill her by the time we got to the 4th round, because the 4th round, level 4, for her 4th anniversary 4th anniversary is very slow. It is very slow to slog through, because it was pretty much putting Opera on the verge of death every time. So yeah. Pretty much what ended up happening was yeah, this is her gaming room, her PC, her little TV with Mario. Get out of the way, Opera. You're so slow when you're actually starving. You're slow when you're starving. Yeah, we got Pong. And Mario, we got Pong and Mario. But back what I was saying about Webtoons. Webtoons used to be a lot more like user-friendly, at least in my personal opinion, every time I dealt with them. Why? My phone, it's freezing. My model's frozen. What is it? If she's a gamer, that's her kitten and bedroom too. A gamer never leaves their room. Exactly. Smart thinking right there. Smart thinking right there, music boy. And my model is now frozen and just out. It's just out. It's out today. Let's try and reconnect this baby. Yeah, we're just out today. Hold on. Before we pull out all this. Let me model out of commission temporarily. So, what was I saying? Since I keep like, okay, it's working. What the heck happened? Oh hey, we're dying now. Opera, you're going to have to go out on your own terms. Sorry, Opera. Are you trying to kill her? Yes. This is the stream. We're going to resurrect her, and we're going to start from scratch. Or at least get her to level 2. Or level 3. Get her somewhere like between 2 and 3. So yeah. There she is. You killed her. You killed Aura. Yes, I did. Now she starts over. Oh, wait a minute. Hold it. Wait, I've never seen this. Yes. Okay, here we go. Your goal is to keep your precious Aura happy. Feed her cookies, entertain her with arcade games, and close ads whenever they pop up. Monitor the stats on the right to prevent her from crashing. So, we killed her on purpose. Now, of course, as you saw, we have a reset button. But I wanted to kill her. We give her sustenance. As you can clearly tell. This is the stream. We're going to keep Opera alive. I see. Yes. Yes, you see. What is it what I was saying? So Webtoons used to be, I guess, like a lot, in my personal opinion, Webtoons used to be a lot more user-friendly. And so people would just, like, be posting comics left and right. And you would have, like, and then, like, yes, I like squeezing Opera. So one of the things that I liked about Webtoons was that it was a lot more user-friendly. Ads weren't, if you go on to Webtoons now, it is so different from like 2017. Like way, 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 way different. 2016, 2017. There would be, what is it? They had a section where people who were fans of the series could literally like make fan translations, and some of those webtoons that have those fan translations are still up. They are still up if you look for them. The problem is though is now Webtoons is kind of meh when it comes to like fans and stuff like that. It's more ad heavy. It's every time you log in, ad. They implemented obviously the coin system, and well, here's the thing, I'm actually not all that against the coin system. Lezen has it, but the difference between like say not opera the difference between something like Lezen and Webtoons is that Webtoons is free, and then if you want to read ahead you get coins, whereas Lezen you have to pay for each chapter, which Webtoons was like the best balance of just like not having that at all. And it was the best balance of pay and free, if that makes any sense. And then if you wanted to read ahead, you would pay. And I didn't mind that. What I did mind though is when it started affecting other series, and especially series that were previously level 2, everybody, yay! We're at level 2. Will you survive? Oh, hey, here we go. Oh yeah, we can click this. I like doing that. What is it? And so, my only problem with Webtoons when the coins are being implemented, because I knew the moment that I saw the coins, I was like, yep, Webtoons is gonna change. The problem with the coin system is the fact that, it would make Webtoons become predatory. And obviously it eventually did. You would have ads pop up like up the wazoo. You would have 3 ads. It was worse last year. Ads would like pop up back to back. That's how annoying it got. Ads popped up back to back, and it would be like so freaking annoying. And you would enter in, get no ads, go to the Webtoons, and then you're like, oh, I think I forgot to click on the Webtoons bar that has like the Webtoons you're subscribed to on the main page. You would back out to the main page and be bombarded with more ads. And I'm just like, great, I love this, yay! And it was so annoying. Like I said, it was worse last year, and it kind of like drove me off the site for a little bit. I wouldn't be shocked if it drove other people away too. Sleep opera. Sleep wake, sleep wake, sleep wake. Awake! Stay awake. Yeah, picky. What is it? And so Webtoons was like a whole different... If you were there for 2017, you know what Webtoons was like. Lots of, there were a lot more, say, like... There were a lot more Korean dramas than there are a lot more Korean series than... Actually, you know what? If I had to really say it, back then it felt like there was at least an equal amount of Western and Eastern comics. Not a lot of manga, obviously, like, you know, Japanese Webtoon artists, because obviously manga was dominating and stuff like that. But if I had to say, it was pretty much really interesting to get a look at like Korean culture, seeing some of these comics like Dr. Frost, my deepest, not my deepest secret, my deepest, no, Super Secret. Super Secret was really cute back then. I'll probably draw the main girl from there too. I liked Super Secret. It was cute. The creator would actually go on to create the tax series, you know, the one about evading taxes, pass the tax. At least that's what it was written when it was in Korean when I translated it. Now it feels like a bunch of webtoons are like the same. I've only really stuck around for 2 series. Mostly because like every single time I try and get into a series that was featured on, it used to be called Discover, but it's now called Canvas. Discover was when you would write your own webtoon and then like just post it for free, and then you might get, you know, discovered on the site. And what ended up happening was they obviously ended up changing it. Obviously Canvas sounds better, but like I said, if you were there, you were there. Back then it felt like there was at least a good mix between Korean and English comics, at least by 2017 standards. What is it? Ecstasy Heart was a thing too. Man, that was a waste of time. I'm sorry to the Ecstasy author after seeing this. She would end up going on to like being an artist for somebody else, which I think was a lot better than what had happened. The problem was though is, oh man, I'm like scrolling. I'm also like scrolling through like the webtoons thing. Can I be absolutely real here? There were a couple of comics I was like excited about. That's what I'm trying to get at. There were a couple of comics I was excited about and then like just fell off. I thought fell off in like the long run. Some I was able to catch early, some I was not. Ecstasy Heart was that comic that fell off like long ago, and I still kept reading because I wanted to see like the finale. And then the finale was cut short. And everybody was upset. Everybody was upset. I would never recommend Ecstasy Heart to my worst enemy, because my worst enemy would go find the author. Like I said, I have nothing against the artist. I'm just the author and artist because she was going through health issues at the time, obviously. Obviously. But I would still never recommend Ecstasy Heart to anybody. Mostly because, let's be real here. No. No. That ending was not good. And I'm still salty about it. That thing ended, I think, around like 2019. I was so upset about that ending because it felt like it was a waste of time. You expect to battle the final boss. Wait, I can like... Oh yeah, there was lots. Silly. Loss. Loss. What was I saying? Yes. So like that was one series I kind of regret reading. The art was pretty, and I'll admit I do think the artist improved a lot, because at first her art style was reminiscent of... Her art style was very reminiscent of Kyo Annie. And if you know Kyo Annie, they did stuff like Violet Evergarden, Lucky Star, Haruhi Suzumiya, and Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. It's stuff like that. You'll recognize her for stuff like that. Now the problem and then like as her art evolved, it became more akin to stuff like True Beauty, a lot of like Korean art, if you know Korean art. My problem with Ecstasy Heart is that it felt like the intro, it felt like the story was being made up along the way at a certain point. Like, this like killed sports series for me just in total, because of how I really don't want to sit around wasting my time with sports, and they don't really involve the sport. I'm sorry, Windbreaker fans. I loved Windbreaker, but... I love Windbreaker. I really do love Windbreaker. but I'm really... Ecstasy Heart killed it for me. I'd probably pick up Windbreaker again, like later down the line, though. Because it was a really good series. Because, what is it? Can I tell you some of the plot points that happen in Ecstasy Heart? So in the prologue, here is the prologue. The prologue is basically about a girl named Anya. I'm pretty sure her name was Anya because her mom had, like, near the same name. So Anya was basically the daughter of two of the world's best tennis players. Sounds interesting. And she meets this boy named Axel when both of them were kids, and they basically compete with each other. And they make like a bet, like, I mean, I don't really like their bet, but like to get the conflict going, I guess. He makes a bet. Hey, Anya, you're gonna be like my personal, like, what? It's like embarrassing even to like say it out loud. He's like, by the way, they're like 5 when they make this bet. They're like 5, 6 when they make this like bet. Like 5, 6, or even like, I think like around 12 or something. I don't know. It was a weird thing that the author put in. Mind you, I don't really care about like stuff that happens in fiction. It's fiction. It's not gonna hurt anybody. Still kind of sus, bro. Basically, he was like, hey, bro, Anya, if you lose to... We're gonna compete in the future, and if you lose to me... you read the chapter yourself. I don't want to say it. You're gonna be like, what? 2. You'll get what I mean if you read it. Mostly because it's like cringe because like because it was a kid that like said it. Blech. Hold on real quick. Opera's getting bored, guys. Let's finish these games and stuff up. What is it? So pretty much what ended up happening was they made a bet, he made a crude bet, and she was like, I'm gonna accept your deal. Dang. And what ended up happening was that they end up growing up. Anya becomes a model, and oh yeah, the boy's name is Axel. Axel ends up going off because he was training under her father, and he goes off to become his own thing. Mind you, remember, this is about tennis, and I want you to remember that fact very clearly. So what ends up happening is that Anya ends up growing up, and she becomes a model. And then what happens is that, like, oh, by the way, also her parents divorce. She ends up crying and begging for them to get back together, and then they get back together. That doesn't really mean anything to the plot. That's just a thing that happens. They divorce, she cries, they get back together, and then they stay together for more years. It's not really important, but at the same time it is kind of important. So what ends up happening is that years later, Anya becomes a model. She ends up getting 2 siblings from when that happens. And what ends up happening is that Axel also comes back by years later, seeing them both older and obviously lovers, rivals to lovers, blah blah blah, all that type of stuff. And so what ends up happening is that the reason why he's here, just to like, let's literally just skip all the fluff. He's here to get revenge because what happened was Anya's family ruined his life. What happened is that, remember that married again plot point? Well, you see what happened was that Anya's family thought that he was cheating on her mom, and what ended up happening was that the dad was like, no, I didn't cheat, that's stupid, why would I do that to my wife? And they end up splitting because if I have to be really real honest with you, the mom is like emotional. She is emotional throughout the entire series, and not like the understanding emotional. I mean the fact that the woman divorced him even though he didn't do anything. Actually, you know what, he might have, I don't remember, but I remember he was like, no, I did not, and then like the series is like, yeah, he didn't. And what ended up happening was that the reason why is because, so here's the thing, Axel is important because the reason why Anya and Anya's parents get together is because Axel's parents were the original boyfriend and girlfriend. What is it? Axel's dad was originally Anya's mom's boyfriend that she liked. Or I don't even think they were dating. I think she just liked them, accidentally stumbled upon the scene because she saw something she wasn't supposed to. And then Anya's dad saw the same thing at the same time, and that's how they got together and stuff like that. And so what happened was that they birthed Axel. And what happened was that Anya's grandpa was like, I don't like cheaters, and you hurt my baby girl. And so what ends up happening is after the divorce, yes, divorce, no divorce, not actually, they get back together. And the grandpa's not having any of that. He's not having any of that. And he's like, what do? We gotta prove that that Axel's actually your kid. And then it turns out he's not his kid. But you see, Anya's super smart, smarty pants cousin comes into the room and is like, hey, why don't we just threaten the doctor to change the documents to say that it was, that Axel was actually his kid. Why don't we just do that? Mind you, she walks past Axel in the hallway after she did that deal and was like, man, your life's gonna suck. Bye. So what happens is that, Axel and Mom, to say that they did not, it was, let's just say, Axel's dad did not survive the night, Axel's mom did not survive the week, and Axel ended up having a brain damage, tumor thing that ended up being a plot point years later. But we're not going to focus on that because that doesn't matter right now. You see, what happens is that the reason why he's found Anya again, because their deal is off. But the deal is still on. But the deal is off. But the deal is still on. So he ends up finding the cousin years later, who turns out to be, obviously, super smoking hot, because of course she is. And he ends up making out with her and filming it so that he can mess with Anya. Yeah. By the way, so what happens later is that they end up getting back together. They end up dating eventually, Axel and Anya. They end up going on a date. Now, my viewer, you're probably thinking to yourself, who in their right mind would continue reading something like this? Because what I didn't mention was that whole subplot with the grandpa and the cousin and the changing of the doctors for Axel being Axel's dad being quote unquote not the father, turns out he actually was the father, and it was just they messed with him. And then he ended up pretty much putting that wife out of commission and himself as well. Well, you see, my dear viewers, that goes on for over 20 chapters. Mind you, this series is about tennis. Tennis takes a backseat to this series. Tennis is nothing in this series. Tennis means nothing in this series. Nothing in this series means anything other than the will they, won't they. Forget about tennis. You came in here for tennis? You're stupid. This was stupid. You came for that slightly romance where you thought they were going to go live together and bond in their feelings. Here's the thing. Listen to me when I say this. Ecstasy Heart killed sports series for me. But at the same time, on the way, I don't mind a sports series as long as the romance, if there is a romance in it, is good. Because I am a romance junkie. I will not lie about that. What I don't like is the fact that they teased us for the fact that Anya and Axel, in the prologue, said to each other, Axel literally said, come go and live with me. And we can train and learn tennis together. And me being not even just a hormonal teenager, just somebody who really was invested in one thing you'll know about me. When it comes to romance series, I don't just pick up any romance series. Any character can just say I love you and they start dating and it just be the most boring piece of garbage I've ever encountered. I'm here for the chemistry. I'm here for small things. I'm here for him to recognize her worth and for her to recognize his worth. If I don't see that, I'm not sticking around. And the intro hooked me into that. I liked that. I wanted to see them, like, hook up. I wanted to see them learn, and then I want to see the final tennis match where they, like, basically repeat what Anya's parents did and become the best tennis players and propose to each other again. That's what I was expecting because that's what the series set up. What I did not come in for was literally, like, tennis, what is it? A romance that was, like, really absolutely bad in retrospect. Oh yeah, and by the way, the mob is Anya's parents. Sorry, on her mom's side. On her mom's side, her family's the Yakuza. The Yakuza. So anyway, we end up having new characters like Axel, but older, and then he tells Anya he's about to be sick because he, you know, that when he got pretty much just beat as a kid because of the whole like thing with his dad. Well, he ended up having brain surgery, and apparently that brain surgery didn't work. He gotta have another brain surgery, and this one could prove fatal. So anyway, we introduced this Russian chick who was also a pro tennis player. There's this other guy who's Anya's manager who, I don't even remember his role. I'm pretty sure, like, Anya flirted with him, but, like, didn't because she trusted him. So that was just, I guess, an older, good-looking dude. Then he was, like, getting hit on by this one lady, and she sent him nudies. And she ended up almost killing him because he sent it while she sent it while he was driving, and he ended up crashing. The Russian chick is his girlfriend, by the way. And you know, like a good girlfriend who could have sat down and was like, hey, why do you have this on your phone? While he's literally dying in the hospital, is like, man, I guess all men are trash and pigs who only think about women and booties. So I'm going to break up with him while he's in the hospital. And I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure she did. This dude is like, he's like unconscious for like a good while. And then what ends up happening is I think they end up making up, but I highly doubt they got back together. I don't remember that. All I remember is the fact that, like, wow, this is probably, like, the raciest thing Webtoons has ever allowed on here. You know, before, Let's Play decided to put its own spin on, hey, how far can we take it? Oh! Nice! We got level 2, everybody! Haha. Oh, more free stuff. We should level up some more. Squish opera! We're gonna squish opera! There you go. Maybe I should play some more Cookie Catcher. Pretty much that's what happens. So, anyway, Axel and his brain surgery thing, so... Or I got a room upgrade. Yeah, I hope you're loving my story and why so I talk, like, for anybody who's, like, coming in or seeing this stream in the future, listen to me. This is not the first time I have explained Ecstasy Heart. This is not the first time I've explained it. But, like, I'm trying to literally recount why I do not like Ecstasy Heart, and, like, it was one of, like, the most disappointing webtoons, because I liked the webtoon. That was the thing. This was like, if, like, anime tells you that just because the opening is bomb, just because the opening is done by Mythenroid, the people who did LLL from Overlord, and Voracity from Overlord too, and Tit for Tat for Cautious Hero, stuff like that. Jingo Jungle from Tanya, from Tanya, from Yujo Senki, that's what I was thinking, the Reign of Tanya the Evil, stuff like that. Just because they do bomb openings does not mean that the series is good. Example, Isekai Cheat Hero, it has their opening by Mythenroid. The opening is fire. Do not watch Isekai Cheat Magician. But like, this series taught me, just because the art is good does not mean the story is good. And this is a bad series. It's just not, it wasn't good. It was not good. Mind you, I don't say that about too many series. At least back then, I did not say that about a lot of series back then. Like, I gave a lot of series the benefit of the doubt. Some series, though, sometimes you just gotta leave it. And pretty much Ecstasy Heart was that series where I was, like, able to pinpoint when a series kind of went south. It's why I was able to drop series like Let's Play and Edith. Which, oh yeah, we'll talk about Edith. Which we're not going to talk about it long because I dropped that thing early on, and I was right that the series had fallen off a little bit. Only a little bit, because the art is good-ish. So pretty much what ended up happening was, what happens is later, something Axel, oh yeah, but, what, did anything? I don't even remember what happened with the cousin. He, like, makes out with her, and then she doesn't dip for the rest of the series, but she does, like, take a back seat after that. And, like, Anya, I don't even remember if she ever brings that up ever again. I think she, like, lost trust in her cousin, but, like, that gets repaired probably later on. I don't remember. I'd have to read it, and I really don't want to. We'll probably do a video on it, because, yes, of course we're gonna talk about a series that's already ended over 5 years ago. Because I loved it. As you can see, I loved this series. I loved it. Yay! Anyway, so what ends up happening is that later Anya is like, hey, I'm gonna go compete in the tennis tournament. This whole thing is built. So the reason why this whole story is even like, I guess people are still invested in the story, is because the main end goal of the story is to pretty much what, okay. The main end goal to the story is pretty much to get to get to this tennis tournament that Anya's parents won, that Anya's parents were a part of. For anybody, and obviously proposed to, and she wants to be better than her mom, as that's clearly been stated. Obviously, Axel came in because he wants to thwart it, but it's also a romance, so enemies to lovers too. And so what ends up happening is that, dang. What ends up happening is that, Anya's mom tells her to compete with her, being like, hey, you're gonna make it, kid, but she's gonna make it. This is where I kind of had it with the whole tennis premise, because we had drama we're having drama like back, forth, up, down. Back, forth, up, down. Tennis does not mean anything anymore. I get sick of tennis. When tennis was brought up in this series, I was sick of tennis. I hated tennis. I'm like, I don't care about tennis. We're now introducing Axel dying in 50 hours or 50 minutes. I don't care about tennis. But the thing is, I cared about the final battle, because if Anya won, then she would have something to go back to Axel, because because Axel could not compete in the tennis because he wanted to, but again, the brain surgery, and he was dying. So if she won, but he died, she still won, but it was bittersweet. And if she won and she lost still, it still would have been bittersweet, but it would have still been nice to see them still propose like her parents did. The problem was, however, the fact that tennis meant nothing anymore. Tennis meant nothing. I don't want to know about tennis anymore. I want you to settle the drama. Tennis felt like such a waste of a premise. And the art too. But what ended up happening was like the series comes to an end. Oh yeah, that Russian chick is the reason why she was invited was because she's supposed to be Anya's like rival, but like I never liked her anyway because she was written like if Anya's mom was emotional, this lady took it up to a 10. Like I said, her boyfriend, obviously in the terms of the story, he was business partners with this girl. She got drunk, she sent him nudies, and what ended up happening is that obviously she thinks he cheated on her. And so obviously that would cause some drama. What's not cool is the fact that, the fact that she was emotional and just wouldn't talk to the guy in the entire series. And that's what was so annoying. So I didn't really like her character a lot. And I really wanted her to leave very badly. And so, you know what? Let's just hop all the way to the end of the series. Because like I said, this series has been over for like a good while. So forgive me if I don't remember a lot of it. But what ends up happening is that the series ends to the finale. We get all the way to the finale. We're finally at the chess. We're finally at the tennis tournament. Axel's going to go get his surgery, and we need to see if he survived. Anya's going into the competition knowing that Axel is getting surgery. Mind you, one of the things I did not mention that I severely hated in this series was the fact that Anya and Axel were going through the worst back and forth I had ever seen in a romance. You know, at least in like, here's the thing. We were talking about this earlier in the Discord server. Like, for anybody who was in the Discord server, you saw me talking with Music Boy about You saw me talking in the Discord server about harems. I criticized series back then in the early 2000s because a lot of series got buried under two things: harem and romances. Not in a bad way, it just got buried. So a lot of good series, even with good romances, got buried. Stuff like Princess Tutu, stuff like Penguin Drum. Well, Penguin Drum wasn't really a romance, but it was very experimental. Actually, no, don't highly recommend it. Man, if you are into anime, if you've heard of Revolutionary Girl Utena and Sarazan Mai, and you know how weird Ikuhara can get, best of luck if you hop into Penguin Drum. Like, Sanzara Mai is like his weirdness. Here's the thing. If you thought Sanzara Mai was, just crazy weird, Penguin Drum actually kind of dials that back down. I thought Penguin Drum was weird. I couldn't even get through a clip of Sanzara Mai. But back on topic. What ends up happening is, what is I saying? Oh, yes. Like, I've seen harems and back and forths and stuff like that. I don't mind harems with back and forth of will they, won't they, because there's multiple girls. And obviously you want the MC to make the right choice, even if the right choice is super obvious. I'm not Teen Onodera, but Chitose made sense. Only a little bit. Not by much, though. Or what's one harem series that I got into? No, that one was weird. No, that was not Toradora was not a harem series. You rooted for them, but they weren't it wasn't a harem series. What? Did I watch harem series back then? I encountered Tenchi Muyo, but I thought it was about magicians, so I ended up bailing on it, and then I find out years later that it was sci-fi. I think I just heard about all the top-rated harem series and stuff like that. Like High School DD. I never watched High School DD, but it was, let's be real here, Rize. redhead girl was obviously the best choice. And if you don't agree with that, perhaps you should install some mods on your browser. Rize. And if you don't choose Rize, I have severe questions for you. I didn't even like High School DD, and I was like, if you don't choose her, I think you're crazy. So what ends up happening is, with a harem series, you expect a will they, won't they. Like, will they, won't they's in harems makes at least a bit of sense, because, what is it? Multiple girls. Best girl, tsundere, kudere. There's a multiple girls, and like, even like if a fan didn't like one girl, he would love the other. Authentic Symphony by Chocho. I was thinking of Mashiro Airo Symphony. So that's what I was thinking. Mashiro Airo Symphony. We'll probably watch that in the future because I actually really want to watch it. And I hope somebody translates the visual novel of that one day. But staying back on topic. But what ends up happening is Huh? Oh. I moved the mouse all the way to OBS. What is it? Pretty much what ends up happening. Pretty much what ends up happening is, like, with a harem, you expect multiple girls. So if there's a will they, won't they, and a back and forth, it's not, you at least understand because there's multiple girls at play. But when it's, like, just one couple, it is so exhausting and annoying. Why would I watch one couple go back and forth with a will they, won't they? And all they're doing is being melodramatic. Axel cheats on Anya a good, like, he, like, not even cheats on her. He cheats on her once with her cousin, number one. And that should have been done. But he, like, goes and confesses her love for him. Because what happened was that when Anya first saw Axel again after all those years, she fell for him because obviously handsome face. The moment that he cheated on her with her cousin, because they weren't really dating, I think they were just, like, messing with each other. That's a done deal. I'm not ending up with you, bozo. But what ends up happening is that she still goes out with him anyway. And then he breaks her heart, I think like 3 to 5 more times, and she still wants to be with him. And that's fine if it was believable. It's not believable. That's definitely what I'm talking about. It's not believable. So I'm just like, Axel, literally break up with this girl. Please. Floor cookie. I'm like, break up with this girl, please. This girl's not even good enough for you. And I'm supposed to be rooting against you. Because the series is, like, set up to where you're supposed to be rooting for Anya and her feelings, and obviously criticize Axel and how his revenge is not in the right. And yeah, his revenge is not in the right. Still shouldn't have ended up back with him, is what I'm saying. She shouldn't have ended up back with you, bro. You were way too good for her. That's how, like, wishy-washy her feelings were. And then he tells her about the surgery, and then she's like, I'm going into the final tennis thing with, like, her feelings being like, Axel, I love you. I'm gonna win this for you. And then she's gonna go fight the Russian chick, which, like I said, I do not care about her. I want her defeated. And you know what the author pulls? When this final chapter goes out, Anya walks into the tennis field. And you scroll down, we're about to see and wait for the next chapter. You know what the author pulls? Because the series is already titled Finale. So you expect to at least get one championship or one match or something. You know what they pull? Unfortunately, due to health concerns, I will no longer be doing Ecstasy Heart. If you would like to read more Ecstasy Heart, I will be making bonus chapters on my Patreon. You know what happened I and many other followers clap for the author, because obviously her health comes first. I will not criticize the health of the author. You know why? Because obviously that makes sense. Obviously you need to put your health first, and I understand that. And I will always understand that, because artists need their health. Heck, you know one of the reasons why I didn't stream when I really wanted to? Because I obviously needed a mental health break, because there were things that I was going through that I didn't realize that were separate from streaming. You know what I don't like? The fact that a year later the artist would go on to write another series for somebody else. To say I was angry, to say I was actually kind of angry, I wasn't even non-existent. It took literally a whole year after that series to realize, oh wow, I wasted my time. For real, because there were some people in the chat who were like, in like the comments, who were like, man, why are you locking it behind Patreon? Your health comes first, but this kind of sucks, bro. And I'm like, wait, she might come back to it one day. She said she would one day. It was called, what is it? The series she would end up going on to write is Kill Max. For like Kenny. And for any Webtoon like veterans out there, you know Kenny used to back when the music feature on Webtoons was like super new, Kenny would write like a lot of the early tracks for a lot of series like Supersonic. What was that series? What was that series on Webtoons? Sonico or whatever. That series goes on and off of hiatus. I'm not even sure what it is. It was like a hit Webtoons back in the day, and then people kind of just like fell off it because the author like go on hiatus and then not go on hiatus and then go on hiatus again. And then she like came back and then she went on hiatus again. Oh, Dating with the Tail already ended. Dang. What is it? Where is it? Loof. We don't talk about Loof. Mostly, I ended up like falling off Loof. Like, well, there was one plot point of Loof that, man, if I went off on that plot, people would have an issue with me. Where did the series go? Oh, I remember Just for Kicks. Just for Kicks was a good series. I will always admit that. Nothing will ever stop. Nothing will ever. What is it? Can I be actually honest with you? So what happened was that Just for Kicks is a series about kids in Taekwondo class. Can I tell you something? So I didn't know. So I knew what Taekwondo was, but I did not know how to spell Taekwondo. So every time I looked at it, I thought it said Taekwondo. All right, guys, I'm not kidding about that. So imagine going 20 to 50 chapters thinking they were saying Taekwondo. All right, guys, my Taekwondo classes. To say it was painful would be, yeah, yeah, it was kind of embarrassing. Loss. What is it? I'm trying to bring my emotions down because like I said, I was invested in that series. There were a couple of series I guess you can say invested in at the time. A couple of them were Ecstasy Heart, Super Secret, and Lumine. I liked Lumine. I dropped off Lumine like a couple years back. The author also had health issues, but like she ended up continuing the series, and she still continues the series even now. I hear it's pretty good. I hear it's still like going strong. The art isn't obviously as detailed as it is in the later chapters compared to the first, but obviously health issues come first before good art. That's why we have teams for that, everybody. What is it? was even Mary like Weathery, he like wrote the story, and he co-wrote, and then like somebody else would do the art. That's why Mary Weathery's a studio, which I don't understand why people don't understand that. I'm still shocked by people who don't understand that. What is it? Like I said, I was really invested in the series, so if it sounds like I'm blowing up over nothing, it was to say that it felt, because here's the thing, Webtoons is like, early Webtoons, it was, you did not have the coin system. That's why I don't mind the coin system all that much. As much as I don't like it, at the same time, I understand it. Authors need to get ahead. They also would benefit from being paid more from getting the coins, which I really don't think pays that much anyway, because let's be real here, you know good and well Webtoons is taking most of that cut, as anyone would. And what ended up happening was, and obviously, health issues matter a lot. They matter a lot, especially to an author's health. I know this. The amount of times I've been like, keeled over, which isn't very often, but when I do get badly sick, man, does it, like, you can feel it across every universe and dimension that you were probably born in. The problem was, like I said, they went on to do another series, like, later on, and the thing is, I was like, what, 16 at the time? I didn't have access to purchase a Patreon. I still don't get Patreon because I don't even have bills. I just don't have enough money. Sometimes, even with the $1 a month, you can't do the $1 a month. Sorry, guys. That's just how it is. And so pretty much what ended up happening was, I got salty about it later down the line, because, like I said, Ecstasy Heart is a good Ecstasy Heart had its, like, potential, and it wasn't good. It just wasn't good. And so it pretty much what ended up happening was, pretty much I kind of just swore off the author. Or, like, any of the author's works. Like Killmax. Like, I was kind of invested in Killmax, but not as invested as I would want to be, because I don't think the artist will continue. I don't even think Killmax is still going on. That's how, like, kind of sworn off I was. Dang. There goes 12 cookies. And so, pretty much, yeah. The only other comics that, like, the only other series that had ever made me, I guess, that upset would, I guess, technically be Soro no Toshimono, but I expected it to be like a fan service heavy series, so it wasn't as disappointing. What was disappointing was that ending, but we'll talk about that another day for the 50th time. I've ranted about that ending enough, and we won't do it today. The only other, I guess, comparable webtoons, I would say that not reached that tier, but did kind of make me disappointed, had to be 2 series. It would definitely have to be Edith. Edith was definitely a series I liked, and then it kind of, in my opinion, I saw the early signs that it changed itself for not the better. Because it was going through the same thing, like, from what I gather, because like I said, I fell off in the beginning because these signs were there that it was going to be, oh, this is not going to be what I signed up for when I found it on Discover. So pretty much what happened with Edith, I'm going to describe some of the things that, with, like, what happened with Edith. So basically, Edith was this girl. The comics literally call it Edith. For some people, they really liked it in the beginning, in the early season 1. I did not like some of the changes early on because they were different from the Discover part. And sometimes authors carry it over from Discover, and sometimes they don't. And sometimes it could be to the detriment of, like, fans who were there from the beginning. And that was me and Edith. And so pretty much what ended up happening was that Edith was this girl who was bullied in high school because, she was ugly. And so she spent all of her time being resentful of her bullies while also trying to make herself look better and not as ugly. So she has trauma with that. And it was a really good premise. Obviously, when you have your ugly girl settings and stuff like that. But it's different when you can tell it in a movie where you have multiple writers and script writers and directors and stuff like that. And different when it comes from like a single character that you hear in an inner monologue for a comic. And so I really wanted to see that and like how they would adapt that. Because let's be real here, your girl has also kind of not gone through the same thing, but oh boy, have we all had our bullies that... But pretty much what ended up happening was that she ended up encountering this guy. Now, the guy was good looking, but she didn't want to be with him because he was younger, because she does not like younger guys. And what happened was that in a moment of weakness, when she went to a school reunion, she ends up encountering the guy, they hook up, have a one-night stand, she wakes up and regrets it. And then the series pretty much kind of ended after that because it got picked up by the Discover team. It got picked up by main Webtoons branch. All right, good. We gotta wait a little bit for it to come out. But the start was really, really, really strong. And I really liked that it gave Edith agency. It gave her agency, but it showed that she was ultimately weak. Because obviously, you know, when you encounter trauma like that, it's different for everybody. What I didn't like was that, when the Webtoon came out, it felt like they nerfed Edith in her personality because some of the things did happen. Oh yeah, that moment of weakness. So the moment of weakness was the fact that, despite the fact that she was bullied in high school, there was one dude who did like her, and it was the popular guy, and he liked Edith for obviously who she was, and obviously now that she was beautiful, you know, he didn't really care about that. It was your typical standard romance. But it was like, it felt like a slow, good, typical type of romance. Something you kind of need to flesh out on the Webtoon space. And the art style was very beautiful. I will always vouch for the art style in the early parts, because the art style does go through like this weird change in like the latter half later down the line, and everybody has pointed it out. It's like not the same. The art from the later chapters is not the same as the early chapters. Somebody else was on the team. Maybe it was just the artist's style, but it didn't feel natural. It was too it's not too big of a shift, but it was a noticeable shift. And so what ended up happening was that the popular guy, he was with another girl, and that broke Edith, and that's what led her to meet the younger guy again and then have the one-night stand. The problem was, though, is that when it went onto Webtoons, it felt like she lost a lot of agency, and that all she did was, like, when she was heartbroken, she immediately would sleep with the younger guy. And that's where I was kind of like, we're checking out, because when she was heartbroken, she slept with him. Okay. When she was upset again, she called the dude, slept with him. And then I was just like, oh no, we're not going down this route. I'm not sitting through this. And then eventually I ended up hearing that what is it? Well, I didn't really read that series, but I did hear about its ending, and oh boy. Actually, no. What is it? I heard about the ending through the grapevine. I heard about the series through the grapevine because it was like a smut series. May we all hold our condolences, because, what is it? I did check out the ending because it didn't make sense at all from what everybody kept telling us, and it was just a bad ending. May we all share our condolences for fans of the blood of Madame Giselle. And pretty much I don't vibe with series like that. Like, it's gotta be like changes that make sense. Like Edith, it felt like it made her lose agency. It like dumbed down her character a lot. So I kind of dropped Edith early on. The only other series to make me kind of do that would be, what was that other type of series? The other series that made me do that. Oh yeah! Was it Not So Romeo? Was that what the name was called? Not so Romeo. Rome, Rome, when in Rome. Oh, go away, Romeo. That one was kind of like on the cusp of like the otome isekai boom. And obviously a lot of series like felt samey, but I liked Go Away Romeo in its early days because, again, it felt like she had agency, but it also it was a good balance between agency and being weak. Oh my gosh, I hated the fact that it felt like she turned into a girl boss because it's not as egregious, I would say, as say Edith, because Edith was just a bizarre thing that happened. And like it was more of the fact that she made everything, like I said, like it was small things that made it feel like, oh man, she's a girl boss. Like how in the original, her dad was portrayed as a dude who was strict but loving enough. And then when the Webtoons transfers over, when the comic transferred over to Webtoons, he turned into harumph 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 dad, where harumph my reputation, harumph. Because like in the Discover version, you could tell he cared, but he had to uphold his family first. And then the Webtoon was just like, I know exactly what I gotta do. Make him like every other strict dad that has problems with their daughter. And oh my gosh. If I told you about one of my least favorite tropes in Webtoons, it has to be the explosive dad. It's the explosive dad, sympathetic mom who will literally kiss the floors of her children. I do not like that trope in Webtoons. I really wish it would die. It's not, well, granted, it's actually no. It depends on how they're written. It depends on how they're written. Because, like, you got some where, like, the girl will be independent and then the dad, and she'll do one thing. The dad will be like, my entire reputation is ruined, and harumph. And then the mom will be like, she'll either kiss the dad's feet or she'll kiss the kid's feet. And I can't stand it when they do either. It's one of the reasons why I couldn't read. It's one of the reasons why I immediately dropped the what is it? What was that series? The four of them. The four of them, I couldn't get into it because of that. I remember hearing from a friend that that series gets a lot better. I wasn't staying for that. I'm sorry. You're not gonna have a dad who literally immediately blows up. I understand the message of the story. If you relate to these characters in the story, obviously, good on you. I'm never gonna take that away from you. Still think we should have more nuance in our stories when we deal with that topic now, aren't we? But granted, I wouldn't know. Oh yeah, by the way, you can move these. I've been like not explaining any of this happening in Aura at all. Download. I'm gonna download the spam. Download spam, everybody. Pretty much what ends up happening is I liked it in the beginning, and then it just felt like your standard, like I said, for what is it? For Edith, it was it was very necessary. It was very I guess personally for me, it was story altering changes from Discover to from Canvas to Webtoon that made me drop it. But in the case of Go Away Romeo, it was small things that if you're familiar with the otome isekai genre enough, you're like, oh, now it just feels like every other otome isekai. And then it's just like, well, like I said, it feels like every other otome isekai. The one where she impresses a family member and becomes rich. The one where, oh, she ended up, oh, the fiance was originally a cut and dry bad guy. Oh, her cousin's actually not all that bad, which is actually a good change, but like at the same time, on top of all the other cliches, you can't really enjoy it. it's like cliches within the Otome Isekai genre. If you recognize them, if you read enough of them, you gotta be kind of special to take it out. It's one of the reasons why, like, I like, hold on, let me finish the game before I check out the title. Basically, that's, the story I'm trying to describe is basically about this girl. It's like a Monday webtoon where, the girl, she ends up time traveling back in time, which originally I thought was going to be a drag because, like I said, Otome Isekai, one of the things that's also a common trope, time travel. And I was like, this is boring, but I like it. And it's actually really good. And I was not expecting it to actually be kind of like as good as it is, because it could be worse. It could have been a divorce story, another trope in Otome Isekai, which, oh boy. If you know divorce stories in Otome Isekai. Oh boy, none of those chicks ever get divorced. Very few stories have that chick get divorced. Be like, I'm gonna divorce my husband, the husband, but I've loved you all along. He loved me all along. Which I don't mind those types of stories. Sometimes they actually do happen. I've seen them. It happens. It happens. It's a real thing that does happen. That being said, you gotta make it convincing, bro. You gotta make it convincing. Have a divorce story be convincing. It has to be convincing. Otherwise, I will not believe you. What is it? I guess to balance it out, let's talk about some stories that did catch my attention. Like, what is it? Let's actually talk about some stories for the next, because we're gonna, what is it? We're gonna, it's like 8:01 on my end. We'll talk about some more webtoons. Let's talk about a couple, what is it? 2 webtoons I like. 2 webtoons, because I went through 3 webtoons I don't like and stuff I don't like in webtoons. Let's go through 2 webtoons that I really like. 2 of them were finished and I love them. I absolutely love these stories. What was that story called that I just mentioned just a few minutes ago? Or just a minute ago? It was called Not Marry My Husband. I'm the Queen in this sounds such like a girl boss title, and really I should have hated it. I don't even remember the name because I hate it that much. But I really do like the story to it. It's actually really good. I highly recommend it. 3 webtoons that I do really, really love. My in-laws are obsessed with me. That one is really, 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 really good. Unnecessarily good, mind you. I love My In-Laws Are Obsessed With Me. And I try and push back on reading it because I really like how the plot goes. Unexpectedly too, because I guess I at one point I read it on specific websites. I read it on a specific website. And what ended up happening was I did not like my initial impression of the series the first time. I thought it was lame. Oh, I didn't know it could do this. I didn't know you could do this. Does it do anything? Oh. Nope. It just... Huh? You guys are probably wondering what I was doing. I didn't know that I was back on OBS again. Yay, I love that. I was doing drag and drop. Basically, it's another Otome Isekai story, and if you're unfamiliar with Otome Isekai stories, you'll be able to slip into it. But one of the more kind of groaning tropes in the series is, oh, the female lead entered into this dark, gloomy family, and she changed everyone's life for the better. And sometimes it can be really, really good. Other series that are the same are Can We Ever Be a Family is a good example of one of those. And of course, My In-Laws Are Obsessed With Me. But the thing with My In-Laws Are Obsessed With Me is the fact that is actually like I said, the first couple of chapters are very much a slog to sit through. I wish I could say skip the first couple chapters. I wish I could, but it's important. It's much, much too important setup. It is a lot of setup. It is like early, it's like early setup for all the stuff that does happen later down the line that makes it become really good. Like, so the story is basically about this girl. Her name is Parashati. We'll call her Perry. Perry is the most adorable character in the world. She is basically a girl. Her father recently died, and what happened was that he died from an illness, leaving Perry and her mother and stepsister and her fiance, who is going to be a knight. Now, the thing is, here's the problem. On the day that on the day of the festival for the town, I forgot it was the hero or just the anniversary, the hero who saved the town from war, the kingdom from war. Perry is paralyzed. Perry is paralyzed from head down, from the neck down, and she can't, actually, I think she couldn't speak either. And what happened was that the stepmother's like, oh, I knew it would work. Her stepsister is like, you did it, Mom. And her fiance is like, oh, good, you're gonna kill her so we can finally marry your stepsister, and I'm gonna take all the riches and money. Mwahahaha, blah, 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 blah. All that type of stuff. And so what ends up happening is Perry ends up getting smothered with a pillow and she dies. Typical Otome Isekai setup, your family betrayed you. Yes, this is typical Otome Isekai setup. It sounds interesting, but like I said, when you read a lot of these series, it becomes very much samey. And so your typical plot pretty much progresses through. Perry does not want to marry her fiance because he was in on it. She doesn't want to be around her stepmother or stepsister. They tried to kill her, obviously. And she's not sure if she can trust anybody in this house. Because, well, number one, her stepmother has all the rule. Although Perry is, the reason why they tried to kill her is because she holds the sole inheritance to the family fortune, because that's what the will of her father was. And what ends up happening is she ends up trying to seek out this duke. Now, this duke is dark and brooding and sad and brooding, darkly brooding, blah, blah, blah. Typical, like I said, typical Otome Isekai stuff. Sweet, caring girl, brooding husband, stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. She ends up seeking him out, and she's like, hey, you're gonna marry somebody. And she's like, you're gonna marry the 5th princess. And she's like, I can stop that for you if you, I can stop that for you if you marry me under contract. And he's like, number one, I'm not gonna marry the 5th princess. That's stupid. And number two, how do you know about that? And so what happened was that, he ends up getting cut by accident and she immediately faints. And she wakes up. Here's the problem though. He calls that out because it turns out the reason why the Duke is brooding, dark, and in isolation is because his blood is cursed. Where it is poisonous to whoever even touches it, whiffs it, anytime. Number one, if it goes into the mouth, dead. If you touch it, you will be near death. In fact, you're just gonna die. You're just gonna die, period. If you touch that thing, even the smallest microscopic drop, you will die. And what basically happened was that she survived somehow. And he's obviously curious about this. And so he does it again. And it immediately kills her, and she still survives. And so he's like, wait a minute. Something ain't right here. And so he keeps her around. They go under contract marriage. Typical Otome Isekai stuff. Contract marriage. It feels like a slog in the first couple chapters if you have read more than one Otome Isekai. If this is your first, second, third, maybe even 5th Otome Isekai, you're gonna be interested. But if it's your 20th, like mine, it's gonna feel like a slog. I actually do mean that. I have read over 20. I've finished none of them. Only a few of them have concluded by this point. Oh man, the trend that Bakarina started. May we ever get an ending to Bakarina and her antics. Man, man, we probably could have watched like Raeliana and why she ended up in the Duke's Manor. Man, I never finished the webtoon anyway. I know they're gonna make an anime for Who Made Me a Princess. We'll probably watch that. Probably. Not guaranteed though. We're probably gonna either follow the novel or we're gonna follow the webtoons. Because the webtoon was good and made some good changes, but they were like bad changes at the same time. Like how they extended literally a what is it? They extended this one coma scene where the king goes into a coma and the main character is like worried about her dad, and like they turned this thing that literally was resolved with one of the magician characters going to this tree of life, whacking him with a stick for amnesia's sake to bring back his amnesia, and then moving on, and they extend that thing so long. From what I heard, I dropped off like halfway through. I dropped off early on that amnesia arc. I ain't sitting through that. There are some things I refuse to sit through. I've learned my ecstasy heart lesson. And so pretty much what ended up happening was, what ended up happening? I'm trying to regain my thought. Basically, okay, the dogs. Pretty much what ends up happening is, what is it? What ends up happening is, well, okay, so what happens, if I explain the rest of this, it's gonna be spoilers, so spoiler alert for my in-laws are obsessed with me. Basically what happens is all the interesting stuff happens around like 30 or so chapters later when Perry, after getting to know, our main male lead, his child, who, let's be real here, I've forgotten the names of because I only remember them when I'm reading the webtoons. Except Perry, because I really like Perry's name. Pretty much when she gets to know the family, she gets to know everybody, and she feels comfortable enough, because here's the thing. When she died, she time traveled back in time. That is one of the main things and why she goes to like be like, hey, marry me, you'll give me protection, you'll give me safety. And why she was able to like be like, hey, we're not doing this. And so basically what happens is that she ends up telling them she came back in time because the only other character I remember the name of, Isolette, was one of the hidden members of the family because one of the family members was selling their blood on the black market. Mind you, like I said, that blood kills instantaneously without leaving a trace. All you'd have to do is leave a microscopic drop. That's why the family has to wear gloves. Even the most microscopic drop can kill somebody. It's what took out some of the actual family members because their blood was toxic even within themselves. It's what even took out one of the sister of the male lead. It took out her husband and her husband and her son, because even though the curse is only like passed down paternally, but not maternally. Not maternally, but paternally. And so she was like, oh, my son's gonna grow up and he's gonna like finally get rid of this curse. And he accidentally ended up cutting her while they were opening up letters, and he ended up dying, and so did the husband because he interacted with the son. So pretty much this curse is like fatal. But the problem is that when they found Isolette, the little girl, she explained to Perry, she was like, hey, I remember I was in this dark room, I was weak, I was sick, and then I fell asleep, and then when I woke up again, the cherry blossoms were back out, even though it was snowing before I fell asleep. And Perry was like, hold up a minute, that's exactly what happened to me. And so she tells the family, hey, yeah, I came back in time, and they were like, huh? What do you mean you came back in time? You can't come back in time. And so basically what ends up happening is now the series is getting really interesting because now we found out, like I said, we're all still in spoilers. We found out like Perry's dad, he did not die from an illness. The stepmother bought the blood, not knowing that it was their blood, on the black market. Mind you, the kingdom does not know about their blood. It is secret. It is top secret. If anybody is told, they are immediately silenced without just repercussion whatsoever. Because again, the moment you find out about that, number one, the citizens would revolt and people would harvest their blood, like what they did with Isolette. And mind you, the reason why they found out who Isolette was, because the person who was selling her blood on the black market was their other family member. And Perry Perry thinks about exposing the family. She really genuinely thinks about exposing the family because Isolette's blood was the reason why her father died. Hold up. I'm back. Realized that I was talking so much. I hadn't drinking anything. Dogs were loose. Loose in the house. What was I saying? Basically, we're like finding out about the story, finding out about like the fact that Perry's dad did not die of an illness. He was murdered. They couldn't say that it was the cursed blood, like I said. If they told it, this kingdom would be in an uproar because they would think that, oh, they killed the barbarians, because, you know, European setting, barbarians. They killed the barbarians with the blood, blah, 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 blah. Basically, they want to get rid of the curse thing. You know, it's typical standard fantasy stuff. Again, recommend. My in-laws are obsessed with me. Highly recommend it. It's getting really good. We're just finding out now, like, other people have been affected. Probably a lot of plot and point characters are also affected by the blood. Stuff like that. So, another series. So these next two series, they're completed, but I highly recommend them. I highly recommend them. Really, 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 really good stuff. It was literally the top webtoon I read of last year because I loved it so much. And the other one, well, that was the top webtoon of the year before because I loved that one so much. Like I said, they're both completed. And you can just do daily pass because they were part of the daily pass thing when they first arrived. It's called My Daughter is a Zombie and A Mark Against Thee. They're both really good series. The art would turn some people off, but man, the authors are really good at what they do. Let's start with My Daughter is a Zombie, because like I said, I really, really like this one. If you like Air with Misuzu, you know, Clannad, all that stuff. You like Air, you're gonna love My Daughter is a Zombie. I'm just gonna flat out say that. It's a comedy drama. Basically what happens is that there was this series where, the series is about this daughter and father. And they're just, you know, minding their own business. When suddenly the zombie apocalypse strikes. They get into their car, they try and drive and survive, and what ends up happening is the daughter gets bit. And she gets bit, she turns pretty much into a zombie. She is full-fledged zombie. She cannot comprehend, she only wants to eat meat, you know, human flesh, everything in between. However, the dad does not want her to get killed. So he hides her away in his house and tries to teach her and be normal with her. Now she still tries to bite him and eat him, but he's wearing safety gear and protection, and he's staying with his grandma who always puts her in her place and like prevents her from biting him because, let's be real here, she's a grandma, she knows how to whoop your butt. It's a very fun series. For a good while they're hidden. We find out the daughter Sua and the dad, you find out a lot of their backstory. You find out like, oh, hey, wait a minute, how old is Sua and how old are you? Oh, wait a minute, if she's this old, wouldn't you have had her here? And then like a bunch of stuff happens. Like I said, I mean this when I say it. This one I won't give spoilers for because it's really, really good. It's a very, very good series. The art is a turnoff for some people, but it really adds to the comedy, and it hits really hard when the series hits hard. I highly recommend it. You know what? I'm pulling up a photo. I'm pulling up a photo of each series I'm talking about. What is it? My in-laws are obsessed with me. We're pulling up photos for all of them because I really like these series a lot. I forgot we were on Google. Hold on. Let's go to the chat room because it'll be easier to do the chat. It'll be easier to line them up with chat like that. I actually don't mind the art in like the novel because you probably, you know what, let's go back and like show you because my in-laws are obsessed with me is a novel. So this is the novel art and this is the Webtoons art. I love the Webtoons art a lot more. It makes the series stand out because while this art is very pretty, it is very pretty. it is very standard within the series, within Otome Isekai community. You gotta be very standout with the art when it comes to Otome Isekai, whether it be an ugly pretty or a very pretty. And this is very pretty, but ugly pretty in a way, because the series, some would say it's ugly pretty. I think it's kind of an in-between of being pretty and ugly pretty. But I highly, like I said, oh wait, I forgot I locked it. Not Twitch chat. I locked Opera in place. Let me see. Let me put it right here. There we go. It's very, very, very good art. And this is the novel art. This is the novel art. The novel art is like very pretty. It looks nice. But the way everything is depicted and written in the webtoons, I like the way it looks when it's on the webtoon. When it's a webtoon. Because you don't need solid art all the time to like show you when something is good. Let me actually go back and fix it. Because I know I still have Opera dying in a corner. Let's turn off Opera real quick here. All right, it's right there. Because I know Opera is like dying. Let's feed her. Let's feed her. All right, there you go. Opera, go to sleep. Opera, go to sleep. Let me pull up photos of all of them. My in-laws are obsessed with me because I really like the series a lot. I genuinely do. I genuinely mean that. Sometimes, and even then, like sometimes the art, not the art. Sometimes, yeah, actually, yes, we were talking about the art. Sometimes the art can really help the series. Sometimes it can be to its detriment. It just depends on what's like the series is about. Let's see, where can I? All right, let's see. Ah, yes, manga decks. Let me save it, and there you go. Let's see. All right, and then we have my daughter is a zombie. My daughter is a zombie. Like I said, I genuinely do mean this. Highly recommend My Daughter is a Zombie. They actually even got a cameo in True Beauty. And True Beauty had a cameo in True Beauty just has like, I like the way True Beauty did their cameo. It was a lot. It was way too funny. She just shows up and was like, "Hey," they were like, "Oh, it's her, the girl," and she was like, "Yes, I am here. Bye." I went back to my home planet in the funniest way possible. It's not really a good cover art ish because like it seems that obviously one thing you're gonna notice about some webtoons is that some webtoons will have way more popularity in in Korea than obviously in like the States, and that's like one of the things that like sucks the most because I really like some of these series. What is it? Man, like my daughter's there's like no good photos of this series. not unless you count like some other like images. We'll just save this one. Of course, WebP. Yes, WebP files. I love them. And I guess we'll grab this one. The Mark against the... We'll talk about that one. Oh man, was that one really... That one was good. You want a good series? Go read... You want a good, like, thought piece? A Mark Against Me. I mean it. Web P to PNG. I mean it. You want a good, like, I mean, you want a good think piece. You want a good think piece. We'll get this. The art doesn't look exactly the same. Obviously, the artist has improved, like, a lot. They've improved, like, a lot, with My Daughter is a Zombie, with their art. So, the art looks a lot different than, Harumio. It looks a lot different compared to, with the final product. But I still recommend them both. Add more files. What is... Let's see. Delete these. Alright. Download that. And download. Let's see. Alright, there we go. Okay. We talked about... Let's pull these images up. I'm like getting excited talking about my favorite series. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is... I'm gonna like... Alright, I'm giving you like, guys, like a good look at this series. It's really good. I like the way the art is. I like the way the family is. Like I said, the first couple chapters are a slog. They are a slog to sit through if you're familiar with Otome Isekai. But if you are not, I highly recommend this one. If you like a good dramedy, it's more comedy than drama, because the drama starts like at the very end. The drama starts setting in at the very end. My Daughter is a Zombie. Where is it? This should be it, right? Yes, here we go. Let's extend that one up. My Daughter is a Zombie. Highly recommend it. It's a very good series. Let me like pull up the screen. The grandma, she's a funny character. I love her. She's one of the best characters. The cat has their moment. You think the cat would get annoying, but like the small stuff the cat does is really cute. It's small side distraction things. Su-ah, I forgot the dad's name, but like Su-ah is very funny and quirky in her zombie, with her zombie self. She's eating intestines, pig intestines, because technically it's technically zombie food. It's technically zombie food. Oh, here's a funny Easter egg I didn't notice when I first downloaded the image. Yeah, that black hand is another cat. That cat, I'm not gonna spoil it. This cat made me tear up a bit just right here. I'm not gonna say what happened, but that cat's story made me tear up as well because it ties in with the orange cat. And then obviously we have the dad. I mean it. I won't spoil anything about the story. I genuinely do mean this. Highly recommend it. If you go read it, I would highly recommend it. It's a good story. And then we have we're going to pull up one more. And it's a story that I genuinely love. Man, like, I want a sequel. I want to, not even like a sequel with My Daughter is a Zombie, but definitely something like to pull in. But definitely, A Mark Against Thee is one of like the best webtoons I had ever read. It made me angry, it made me upset, and it made me just like tear for the characters. I remember doing like a play-by-play, because obviously My Daughter is a Zombie, and okay, so unlike My In-Laws Are Obsessed with Me, it is still free, it is not ended, so you could binge the series right now. But with My Daughter is a Zombie and A Mark Against Me, they are daily pass, so you will have to, obviously, day by day, read episode by episode, which, by the way, I think that's what makes the series even better. A Mark Against Me, reading A Mark Against Me with daily pass, and that is just like beautiful. Like with My Daughter is a Zombie, I did not use the coins as often, but because I had a backlog of coins, I was able to read it a lot faster and keep up pace with the drama, because it would unlock multiple episodes because I had a backlog of coins and I had a free pass. So I was able to like binge chapter after chapter after chapter and get to the ending a lot sooner than I guess Webtoons intended for me. You know, the whole daily pass intended for me. So I was able to like just stay with the drama of just the series. If anything, I recommend, if you don't want to sit back and you just want to binge the series 14 to 13 chapters at a time, I suggest unlocking them day by day, and then like on the 13th day, because it's open for 14 days, then go and binge read it like 14 chapters at a time. I recommend just doing it daily, because that's what I did, because the drama was just so intense. But to give the story of what is A Mark Against Thee, basically it is about this guy. I'm gonna pull up the first chapter because the first chapter is right there. Let me scroll for his name because Yop. Yes, Yop. Sorry for my Korean. Yop, because I remembered it before I even scrolled. Basically the story is about a guy named Yop. On the day of his graduation from on the day, like, not even graduation, just he's here, he's on this cliffside in the beginning of the story, he's like, yep, I'm having a good life. I have a good family, I love my sister, well, not really, I love my mom, I love my dad, you know how siblings go. I love my mom, I love my dad, I have some of the bestest friends in the world, and I have the best girlfriend in the world. I could ask for nothing more than for them to be happy, and I am grateful for everything that I had. He goes home, he's drinking sake, I don't know if he's drinking sake, but he's drinking booze. He wanders in the street, he goes to get ice cream, and that's pretty much what happens. He encounters this old man, he's like, hey, the old man is like, hey, bro, youngster, you drunk. You need a hangover cure. This old man gives him a hangover cure. He's like, wait, no, I don't need it. But the old man is like, I insist. This is like what I'm explaining this part. It goes by really quickly, but that's pretty much what happens. And what happens is that Yup ends up falling asleep on this bench. When he wakes up later, he is surrounded by blood, massive amounts of blood, pickaxes, murder weapons. He is in the den of somebody who had just committed a murder. Mind you, he was previously at the park. And so what ends up happening is that the media gets a hold of them. Did you murder these people? The media's like, wait a minute, you're fat. Did you eat these people? They handprint them. The hands don't match up, but you could easily cover them up. And what ends up happening is that pretty much without much proof or evidence, Yup is sentenced to death row. He is sentenced to death row. The next chapter, this is happening in like the first 10 chapters. Yup is going to jail. And Yup is going to die one day. He is in there for 3 years. 3, 4, 2 years, somewhere around that time. Around 5. Yup is like in his 20s. And he's in jail. And he's in there since... by this point in the story, what I'm about to explain, he's 23 now. He's been in there for 3 years. He is skinny. This woman goes through her belongings and she talks to her husband about her family, about her father, which we find out is the old man that gave Yup the supplements. And as she's going through it, she sees the photo album, she sees everything, and something slips out of the photo album. Not even the photo album, just a random book. And she looks inside, and she is horrified by what she sees. And as it turns out, the old man was a serial killer who would continuously murder, and he would just murder. He would just murder because he thought one day he would get caught. And he didn't. He was old, he was brittle, he still didn't get caught. And the only reason why they found his belongings was because his family that he started over the course of his murder spree from when he was in his 20s to all the way when he was an old man. His family, his wife, he had a wife, kids, loving family, and they went to his funeral, and and she was horrified to find out, oh, my dad murdered people. He killed them, and he took pictures of them and everything. He did pretty much what your typical serial killer would do. And what ended up happening was just like, they're freaking out. Her husband's freaking out. She's freaking out. They have to go to the police because it wasn't just the fact that her father was a murderer. It's the fact that they knew that he was the culprit and that there was an innocent man in jail. And that would be our main character, Yup, right here. Let's pull up a picture of like what he used to look like, because it's really it's pretty telling. What is it? Mark against the Yup. What is it? Yup. What is it? There should be like a photo of what he looked like in the past. If not, I'd probably have to screenshot it on my phone and get it. I actually think it'd be best if you guys just went and looked at the webtoon yourself, because it's a pretty telling change. Like, this is the aftermath of what he looks like. Cold, dead, and staring. And like what ends up happening is that they like the wife is like immediate, we gotta tell them, we gotta tell the cops, we gotta get that man out. And the husband is like, no, we shouldn't get him out, because if we do, I need promotion, I need a job, we'll end up getting stigmatized, we're gonna end up in trouble. And the thing that did her in was the fact that he brought the kids into this and was like, if you tell the cops, our kids are gonna have the most miserable life and be stigmatized for having a relative who was a serial killer. And so 10 years go by, because the husband said, after I get a promotion, after the kids graduate, after everybody's life has settled down, after the murder has blown over, after the crimes and everything is blown over, then we'll let him out. So over 10 years go by. The court revisits the case again because the family finally brings the album of evidence. And the contrast between when Yup was the murderer and when it turns out that he wasn't the murderer was staggering, to say the least. The one to greet him were 3 or 5 photographers and his dad, now an old man. Yup he went to jail when he was 20. He got out in his 30s. It's insane. It was insane. This is him in his 30s, by the way. This picture you see is him in his 30s. It was a read. It was a read to, like, day by day, seeing and reading it. It was weird, because, like, obviously you can't relate, but at the same time, you're just like, wow, people actually do that. people actually really be out here being like, oh yeah, I have the murder evidence and just am not going to do anything with it. And so Yop goes back, he sees his dad, he's an old man. He sees all his friends. His friends they're in different lifestyles now. One of them's married and rich and stuff like that, and something he bragged about when he was a kid. His friend who he was rivals with is like bald and on the streets, not poor, but divorced. And the other one, who was the pretty boy, became a priest. His girlfriend, I won't say anything about the girlfriend. That one has to be witnessed if you want to understand how kind of painful it was to see, how really it was painful to read, but the way the chapter framed it was really good. And so you'd have to go into the chapter to see how it was framed and like how it was just the way it looked. I highly recommend you do that. And I think really and then like his sister obviously she grew up and then got married and she had her kids. And I think the most heartbreaking one, and everybody agrees this was the most heartbreaking one, had to be when Yop when he went to visit his mom. So what happened was that his mom suffered a stroke. And obviously you're probably like, man, that's not that hard to get out, Kendra. It wasn't just like a normal stroke. It was like a very severe stroke. And the way they explained it was, on the one hand, I want you guys to read it. Like I said, it's a good series. The art does not look like the best. But like, I guess, okay, so spoilers for this one. Spoilers. I'm gonna shrink the image down here, and then I'll regrow it again when spoilers are over. Okay? Everybody clear, everybody muted. So the stroke that the mom suffered was not an ordinary stroke. And what do you mean by that, Kendra? Well, it was obviously a normal stroke, but what happened was that for those 10 years that the mom was, the 10 years that Yop was in prison, was, the family was continuously fighting for Yop to get out. Even when 10 years, 5 years, every year had gone by, they fought for him to get out because they knew that he was innocent. That being said, obviously, the people did not. And what happened was that as time went on, the mom one time went out. Mind you, 10 years went by, so obviously 10 years of aging had happened. The mom had, was outside one day and she was protesting again, being like, help me, my son is not a serial killer. And she ended up passing out on the sidewalk one day, and she was suffering from a stroke. Now, obviously, what happened was that somebody walked by and they took a look at the sign and they walked away. 10 people would walk by. 12 people would walk by. She sat there on the side of the road all afternoon, and she could have been healed had she had went to the hospital sooner, but that was pretty much the turning point for what Yop was going to do with his plans, which his plan was to kidnap the family who let him rot in prison for over 10 years. They let him rot in prison for 10 years, and he was going to kidnap their daughter and do the same to them. And I guess this would pretty much be the end of the spoiler. Spoiler over. And so pretty much the series is pretty much seeing them finish Yup's plan, which I just explained a moment ago, of building this building and what they were going to do. And pretty much you see Yup get pulled back and forth from the plan multiple times because you know that you understand Yup, but you know what he's doing isn't right. And it's a good, like I said, it's a very good series. I highly recommend it. I genuinely mean it when I say. For anybody seeing the image being small, remember that was when the spoilers were up. Now that it's closer to the list, yeah. These are the series I highly recommend because they're really good. Like I said, all of these series are really, really good series that I highly recommend. Oh, one thing I didn't point out, because obviously this series was really popular, it was really good. Anybody who notices these white glowing balls on the I'm not 12 years old. On the book cover, the volume cover, those are the camera flashes. So yeah, like I said, really good series, highly recommended. I know I ran on a rant about all my least favorite series, but you know, you can always never go too bad about all your favorite series. I want to read Mark's A Mark Against Me again. I definitely want to read it. I love it. I highly recommend people check it out. It's not, I wouldn't say it's not for the faint of heart, but it definitely it had me choked up a lot of times. It was if I had to vote a webtoon of the year, this would be it. This would be webtoon of the year. I genuinely mean that. It's a very good series. Highly recommend it. If anything, what's a bonus webtoon? What's a bonus webtoon we can recommend? A bonus webtoon. What is it? No, because a lot of series on webtoons, if I have to be honest with you, a lot of them are corny. A lot of them are corny, and I don't recommend them. I'm thinking about picking back up Senpai is an Otonoko. Otokonoko. And I like it, so I like the first chapters. Maybe. Surviving Romance is kind of an interesting one. I don't dislike it, but at the same time, I'll probably pick it back up again in the future, maybe. It's by the same author who read Miss Guillotine, which if we ever talk about that series, oh boy, do I have my issues with it. Basically, it is a Madoka clone. It is a Madoka clone, but not the good kind. It's you see the potential, but if you accidentally skip, if you see the potential if you accidentally skip the prologue because you were getting into webtoons for the first time, like me. But oh boy, man, I saw so much potential, wasted it on a fake Madoka plot. Just go watch Madoka, because one thing that somebody said was the best part of why dark magical girl series aren't good is because there's no hope. Miss Guillotine has no hope. There is hope, but it's the most slapdash, not good hope. However, Surviving Romance is one of their better series. I definitely would recommend it if you just want a good, cool read. It's good. It's meta. It's the good kind of meta. Highly recommend it. I'll be right back. And then I'll try and pick out one more webtoon for you guys, because we're gonna counterbalance it. We're gonna make four good webtoon recommendations against 3 bad ones. All right. Okay. Now hold on. Turns out I had forgotten one series that I remembered and then forgot again in the middle of the stream. So technically we're gonna get 2 bonuses. Okay. This one I remember reading before Webtoons implemented the coin system. I highly recommend it. It's a very good series. Goo Goo Man. You're gonna understand that in a bit. Family Man. It's a really good one. It's this is volume 3. I would read it again in a heartbeat. If we ever we're doing like a read session, I would highly recommend it. If I ever get sponsored by Webtoons, don't mind sponsoring me. I don't mind sponsors. But this one, Family Man, it's very good, very good series. So basically it's about this man. It's about this man and he works at a plant. Now what happened is that unfortunately he got into an accident that burned his face. It doesn't show it here. Obviously, this is volume 3. It burns his face and he's let go from his job. But the problem is he's very proud. Not in the bad way. He just doesn't want to come back to his wife and kids and disappoint them, being like, hey, I lost my job, obviously. And he doesn't want to come back. His daughter is like 6, like below even 6. And his son is actually autistic, he's special needs, and he does not he has his own little fun side adventures. It's really cute. I love him. I love the daughter. They are like actually cute kids. If you like Anya, you're gonna love these kids. And of course, this is his wife. Now their family is poor, obviously, and that's also the reason why the dad does not want to come back. Now what ends up happening is that these 2 guys who don't want to do their job anymore, they give up. They want to do a life of crime. And what happened is that they're like, if we just kidnap a kid from a rich family, they'll just give us money, like smart people do. And what happened was that the dad, because he doesn't want to show his burnt face to his kids, the shame and everything, he finds this costume in a laundromat, because that's how he's also getting money, because he's been staying with his friend in the laundromat, staying still within close of his kids to watch them from a distance, but not going to the family. The wife does not know this, by the way. She's just raising them on their own, and she has her own story that's really good, and I actually really kind of like. It's tied with another character that I kind of feel like he's just needs to go away, bro. Sometimes you just gotta move on. Nope. Wrong one. I meant to change the size of that one because I have OCD and I want all these images to be the somewhat same size. Dang it. Basically, he dons this costume, this pink man, the children's favorite TV program superhero, Goo Goo Man, which probably sounds a lot cooler in Korean and makes sense a lot more in Korean. But Goo Goo Man, we're gonna find that costume right now. Family Man. We're gonna find that web slinging / slinging gash ringing the clash clinging. Yeah, it's a good webtoon. And pretty much he basically fights off the bad guys, and the daughter and the son do not recognize this, and they end up fighting. He ends up fighting. You know what? Let's pull up like the first volume. Let's wait for that to load real quick. And so basically, the whole series is basically spent him in this costume and his kids fighting, and his kids just not knowing where he is. And yeah. And then yeah, that's pretty much just the series in a nutshell. Can I save this series? Will it like expand in a good way? Because if not, we'll just like, what is it? If not, then you can just go read the series and then have a proper look at what the suit looks like there. Like I said, I like this series. And stuff happens later down the line in this series that like is really, really good. You just want everybody, here we go. It's blurry. There was like a clear picture earlier, but I couldn't find it. Him dressed as a Goo Man. But I highly recommend the series. It's like really good. The child with the his son is treated like, you don't like see a lot of like obviously autistic rep, and I highly recommend the series because they do treat it well. They treat it really, really well in the series, and I actually like highly recommend it. And that series before that I was going to highlight, but then remembered Family Man. One series that is like pretty good. If you like your slice of life, you'll like this series. Come on, say it with me now. Yumi Cells. Yay, Yumi Cells. We are going to have a watch along of the drama. We're going to do a watch along of the drama. Drama looks fantastic. I love the drama. I love the K-drama. I never understood why people liked K-dramas until I saw the Yumi Cells K-drama. Oh my gosh, does the set design just look. The outside design, the set design, it feels like the perfect blend of anime and live action. That's the best way I can describe it because it looks so pop. Just, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the Yumi Cells drama. I mean it. We should probably... Opera will be sleep until next time. Then we can finish off Opera at level 4 or whatever. But pretty much it's just about the daily life of this girl named Yumi, her love life. She's 30. Yeah, who remembers that Twitter thread by like, what, I think Goobus? He was like, no, what, not Dubus, Ultima. And he's like, I think the funniest trope is like, there'll be these women who are super good looking and super cool and super awesome, and their like defect is like they're 30. Not even this is that series. It's just a good series. It's basically romance, but I think the best twist of the romance is the fact that it shows the inner mechanisms of the human brain. You got the ones with the long, you got the long bangs right here next to Yumi's neck. On the side, the one where she looks like she's about to cry, that's emotional cell. The one next to her smiling right here is rational cell. I think he goes by a different name in the Korean version because the Korean series is on Rakuten. I found out how to watch this series other ways. And the other one on the other side of her neck is detective cell. The one above him is hysteria cell. The one below him is naughty cell. The one above hysteria is, I think, party cell. I can't remember. And then obviously, I can't remember if this was the Bob. The Bob dude, was this like the Bob Cut gang? Oh man, the amount of fake outs the author would do with like some of the stuff Yumi would do. Like the Bob Cut gang. May we never convert to Bobism. Oh man, it was a good comedy romance, and it's like it was accurate and real. The amount of kids there was concerning because so many of them were clearly not understanding relationships at all, or at least understood. Like, here's the thing, I ain't dating anybody, not in this time, not right now. But the amount of kids who came into Yumi Cells being like, man, why didn't so and so do this, or why didn't such and such do that? And I'm just like, I can smell the 13-year-old on you, bro. I can smell the fact that you're 13 and this is deep. Is there any other webtoons I probably want to highlight before we go? There was not Winter Moon. I'm thinking of a different series that I remember it was one of the first webtoons I ever read. There was one moment that was like super awkward where a dude was like killing a girl while reading the Bible, and we don't talk about that, but that did happen. That did happen. It's somewhere in here. I don't remember. It's not Winter Moon. But the main character's name was Winter. Magical 12th Grader is something I probably will go back to. I'm actually kind of shocked it's not been locked by Daily Pass. Because I remember that being like a hit series back in the day, though granted, a lot of these series are buried under because Webtoons is like, read our newer series. We're shoving Otome Isekai down your throat for the 50th time. You still love it, right? Yeah, I don't love it anymore. And even then, you don't have all the good ones because Tapas got them all the good ones. Oh, right. I remember even the worst webtoon I've read of all. But I never finished it, so we'll probably never cover that one. Granted. Oh boy. May we never forget the ending, because it was changed. That series ending was changed. I thought it was hilarious. Everybody on the Otome Isekai Reddit had a good laugh when I like told them some of the spoilers from like the novel database and stuff like that. So many people, we all had a good laugh. And there's Hardcore Level Warrior, Anti-Stalker, The Aftermath. I actually did really like The Aftermath. The Aftermath is a short series. I highly recommend that one. If you just want a good short series, Rewriting the Villain Ascended? A Good Day to Be a Dog. I guess Super Secret. Oh yeah, let's go with Super Secret as the last final one. Outrank all these webtoons is just, I'm just gonna go on like a webtoon recommendation spree. Secret. Super secret. Huh? Huh? Did I just see TV show? TV? Season what? What do you mean episode 1? Oh. Wait. Hold up. Hold up. Oh, okay. It's kind of like a sort of in-between comic dub type thing. I'm gonna check it out on the side, because I did see the same thing happen with My Daughter is a Zombie while I was flipping through them. Super Secret's actually kind of interesting, because what happened was that I remember when this series was being talked about by, how I found out about really webtoons as a whole was because of the YouTuber Aki Dearest. And what happened was that she explained the story of how this webtoon artist, pretty much, how she was able to, pretty much how she was able to make it on her own-ish. What happened was basically that, her teacher was like, hey, bro, yeah, your art kind of, they basically, every time she went to an art school, her teachers are like, yeah, you suck. So her first teacher was like, yeah, you kind of suck at your art, and she was discouraged. Then she went to art school, and her art teacher was super supportive about it. And then she went to that art teacher again with her style, and he said it sucked too, like a whole after the year semester later, after the whole like college experience later. And you know, it's not something you really want to hear, but it happened. I like it. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. I like the way. So okay, so a lot of these names I'm gonna say was back when Webtoons was like, do English speakers know Korean names? Let's localize them. So while I don't remember the names of the actual characters, because it has been over like 5, like I'm pretty sure it's been like over like 7 years since the series had ended. Like a long while ago. Let me see. Is the image. Let's save it. JPEG. My problem with JPEG images. Wait, hold it. Never mind. Thought I could go to like Pinterest or something and find it. Let's pull up Super Secret because I did talk about it briefly. Basically, Super Secret is about this girl who named Emma and her childhood friend Ryan. The art's blurry, and basically Emma, through circumstances, you know what? I'm gonna find a better image than this because I hate this so much because it's so clear on my monitor and like it's not clear. It's not showing the clearness and everything. Okay, here we go. Save image. Hopefully, let's remove this one. Because the art style is really cute and I really liked it. Basically, it's about this girl named Emma and Ryan. And the fact that Emma lives with a lot of supernatural beings. What happened was that when she was a kid, well, I can't go into the spoilers as to why, but basically what ended up happening was that she's childhood friends with Ryan. And the thing with Ryan is the fact that he is a werewolf. His mom is a shrine goddess, I think, and the dad is a Frankenstein, and the oldest sister is a witch, and the youngest sister is a kitsune. And Ryan obviously adopted that werewolf gene like a boss. And what happened was basically childhood friend falls in love, shenanigans. Problem is the fact that he doesn't recognize his feelings, blah, 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 blah. But what happens is that this other werewolf comes, mind you, Emma does not know about the supernatural at all. She, in fact, has no clue that even anybody in the family is a werewolf. In fact, not even told, because they can't tell her, because then the supernatural government, which by the way is a part of the series, will come and wipe Emma and relocate the family. They will wipe all of Emma's memories, because too many close calls. Basically, they'll wipe Emma's memory and blah 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 blah. And basically, what happened is that Emma finds this big dog. She doesn't realize that it's Ryan, and shenanigans ensue. One day, however, Ryan cannot stand being around Emma. And why is that? Well, that's because another werewolf pretty much pulled a Jacob. What was the other dude's name? Was his name Jacob, the werewolf guy from Twilight? I don't remember. I never stuck around with Twilight. Pretty much pulled a Jacob with the pheromone thing and pretty much placed pheromones on Emma, and basically Ryan was like not okay with that. Turns out it's this other rich dude. This other guy who's like rich and stuff and something. His dad chooses his life for him. Nobody in the series liked him. He was selfish and stupid. Like, really stupid. Like, stupid. But not as stupid as his fiance, who he's trying to avoid, so he hooks up with Emma so that he has his family. He doesn't want his family to control him. It's really stupid. His whole story is stupid. But Ryan and Emma's romance is cute, and that's why you stay for the series. Oh yeah, and there's a vampire. Johan. I liked Johan. He was the best. Emma's best friend. She was awesome. The sister was actually pretty cool. The witch sister, she was pretty cool. Emma's best friend's brother, who is friends with Ryan, also awesome. I love him. He's awesome. He accepts people for who they are. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean when it happens in the series. And then the youngest sister in Ryan's family, she totally exists because her role was, I mean, she had an important role, but it was like small. You stay again. You stay for Emma and Ryan. You stay for Emma and Ryan's romance, and I highly recommend that. I'm buried under these webtoons. Should I just bury myself some more with like 2 more recommendations? Oh man, what? You know what? We're not gonna recommend any more series. We'll probably like talk about any more. We'll talk about more of them later if I like remember series, because like some series I stayed with, some series I fell off, some series I just went back to see the ending of because I fell off, and stuff like that. I guess if there's one series I don't mind if we probably had a read along with it is where is it? Because I remember really being invested in it like in its early days and then just kept following it until it was like over. It was about superheroes. Where is it? Ah, I don't want this kind of hero. There we go. Yeah, why not get back into this series again? I don't mind it. It was a long series, and I really, really liked it. We'll probably do a read along with some of these webtoons. Webtoons, I'm out here. Please sponsor me. But I hope you like all my webtoons recommendations. We'll probably talk about I don't want that kind of hero. Maybe next time. Maybe like 4 chapters. Every 4 days. I don't mind it. I liked it. So I guess next time. Peace, everybody. There is technically a raid functionality. Wait, I don't think I can raid. Let me see, YouTube. What was that series again? I like hummed the theme and then I forgot what the name of the series was. It was about this dog detective who like went supersonic every time he had human hair. It was so stupid. Where is it? Let's see. Can I raid? I don't think I can raid. I don't think I can raid. Nah. Oh well. Alright, everybody. Pretty much, hopefully next time maybe next time I can have like a stream. I can fix the Twitch thing and we can have a proper stream on Twitch. Alright, bye! Let's head out.